Stop whatever you are doing, Taurus. It is not an algorithm that placed this in front of you today. It is the precise moment of your cycle that brought you here. I can feel the weight you have been carrying in silence, that quiet exhaustion of holding everything together while waiting for a change that seemed like it would never come. You are standing on the edge of an incredibly rare cosmic window, a shift that happens so infrequently that most will miss it entirely. But I am going to reveal exactly what is about to unlock for you. You are the one who has always sustained everyone around you. You have spent years waiting for your own turn, feeling like you always lose just when you are about to finally win. You have been like a deep-rooted oak tree that endured the harshest winters, storing all its vital energy beneath the freezing soil in total silence. And that tree is now suddenly bursting into full, undeniable bloom overnight. You will understand why the ground beneath you felt so unstable and heavy just before this massive shift. You will discover the exact karmic debt that is finally being stamped as fully paid. You will see why the things and people that walked away from you were actually clearing the path for this new era. You will learn the specific, undeniable sign the universe will send you in the next few days to confirm your harvest is ready. And before this message closes, I will speak a single sentence about your life that you will carry with you for the next few months. Have you ever felt that there is a quiet exhaustion deep in your bones that feels entirely out of place, as if something inside you knows there is a hidden spiritual debt, but your mind hasn't grasped it yet, and as if your soul was convinced that hard work must always equal suffering? And what if this endless loop of giving and losing is not a curse but the universe desperately trying to reveal a profound truth about your journey as a Taurus? While many see only the surface-level frustration, few realize that this heavy phase can carry a profound spiritual cleansing, a closing of ancient accounts, and the key to an unprecedented era of abundance. But what if the great turning point lies in this revelation that you haven't been able to apply yet? Now think with me, why do certain areas seem blocked even when I try to do everything right? What if every unspoken sacrifice, every unreciprocated effort, every night spent worrying about everyone else's stability, every door that closed right in your face, every moment you settled for less, and this constant lingering sensation that you owe the world something you can't name, are actually signs of a karmic debt you have postponed for far too long? It was searching for answers to this that I found this digital book called The Great Secret Behind the Karmic Debt of Taurus. This book is not just a read, it is a revelation created for Taurus who desire to understand the ancient spiritual patterns holding you back, break the endless cycles of unrewarded loyalty and financial stagnation, strengthen your inner sovereignty, and claim the massive harvest waiting for you. Many Taurus already feel that they need to change the way they view their blocks, but they still haven't made the decision to download the digital book. Download it right now. It is available in the first pinned comment, but pay attention, the access may be taken offline at any moment. It reveals reflections, hidden signs, and directions that can completely transform the way you navigate this new phase of your life. Do not wait for another cycle to repeat itself before seeking this understanding. Click now, download your copy, and discover why the heaviest burden of your past could be the exact place where the universe is preparing your greatest liberation. You are still processing this now, with that tight grip of recognition in your chest. If this first word has already touched something deep inside you, write "My era is now" down below, not for me, but because another Taurus who is standing exactly where you stood a year ago needs this message to find them tonight. This path has a map, and it is already within your reach in the first pinned comment. I will return to it shortly. And if for any reason you are not interested or cannot acquire the digital book right now, there is still another door open for you. I do not receive a single cent for any of these messages that I deliver here every single day. Nothing at all. And yet they keep coming out every day. For you and for every Taurus who still needs to be reached. If at any moment your heart wishes to return a little of what it received, there is a voluntary donation link open in the first pinned comment right below the book. Whatever amount fits in your hand today, whatever amount your heart points to, that is what keeps this channel standing. That is what makes the next message reach another Taurus tomorrow, exactly as it reached you today. I will wait for you there, Taurus. I haven't told you the most important part yet. There are 4 signs that this cycle has already started to turn, and you will recognize at least one of them. We need to slow down for a second. The noise around you is loud, but what is happening beneath the surface is entirely silent, and it demands your absolute attention. For years, you have been conditioned to believe that if something is hard, it means you are building character. But what you are experiencing right now is not another test of endurance. It is the final collapse of a structure that was never meant to hold you. Notice how your body reacts to what I am going to say right now. Feel your shoulders, and how tightly you have been bracing for the next disappointment. You are exhausted, because you have been paying an invisible toll for every step forward, but this cycle is already shifting. There are 4 distinct signs that this heavy phase is breaking, and if you look closely, you will realize they have already started showing up. The first sign arrived on that Tuesday afternoon when you stared blankly at your phone, reading a message that felt like a massive step backward. You felt a sudden drop in your stomach. For some of you, this appeared as a sudden block in your career. For others, it was an unexpected complication in a plan you thought was secure. But that was not a defeat. It was the universe forcefully removing a false foundation before building the real one. You called it a devastating delay. The universe called it the final preparation of your roots. The second sign was that sudden, unexplainable urge to throw away old belongings and aggressively clear out your room at 2 in the morning last weekend. You thought you were just stressed, trying to control your environment because everything else felt chaotic. But that was not just a burst of restless energy. It was your soul physically making space for the massive energetic shift that is arriving. You called it restless anxiety. The universe called it the physical clearing of an outdated reality. The third sign hit you in that sharp moment of isolation in a crowded room, where you realized nobody truly understood the weight on your shoulders. You smiled, but inside, the gap between you and everyone else felt uncrossable. That was not loneliness. It was the karmic separation required before your true tribe can enter. You called it unbearable isolation. The universe called it the sacred silence before the grand harvest. The fourth sign was the heavy sigh you let out while simply washing dishes, feeling completely drained for absolutely no medical reason. You felt as if you had just run a marathon, yet you had barely moved. That was not physical exhaustion. It was the final shedding of a karmic cycle, leaving your energetic field. You called it an unfair loss. The universe called it the closing of an expired karmic account. These 4 signs might feel like random moments of frustration, but they have a single common origin, and that origin has a precise name. But before I give you that name, you need something else first. There is a path of cancellation, and I am going to open it right now, before the name, before the word. Because anyone who carries the heavy burden of an ancient debt needs profound relief before receiving the revelation. Stay here, and this is exactly where the path of cancellation opens. The signs that just hit you did not hit by chance, Taurus. They did not arrive to mock your massive efforts or to test your already stretched patience. They are the physical, undeniable manifestation of that lingering weight that doesn't belong to your body. It belongs to your soul, echoing a cosmic invoice you never signed. You have spent years, perhaps decades, operating under this unbelievably dense energy. You have walked through life as if the universe simply skipped over your name when handing out the rewards, leaving you to watch everyone else feast while you stood outside guarding the door. But what if this profound fatigue isn't weakness, but the very mechanism of the nodes forcing you to stop paying for others? What if every delay you experienced was not a brutal rejection, but a cosmic intervention designed to prevent you from investing your massive, immovable loyalty into a ground that would never bear fruit? I have seen Taurus who were exactly where you are standing right now. Men and women who gave until they were entirely hollow, deeply convinced that relentless endurance was their only valid currency in this world. They looked at their personal histories and saw a long, heavy trail of unreciprocated sacrifices. They assumed that their destiny was simply to be the ultimate foundation, the ones who ensure everyone else's safety, the ones who absorb the shock of every unexpected crisis, while their own dreams were perpetually put on hold. They believed that their deep, bone-weary exhaustion was just a normal part of existence. The opportunities that slipped through your fingers at the last second, the people who took your loyalty and gave nothing back. The crushing feeling of building empires for others while your own castle remains unbuilt. These are not random strokes of bad luck. They are the symptoms of an ancient spiritual ledger that has remained unbalanced for far too long. It was searching for answers to this that I found this digital book called The Great Secret Behind the Karmic Debt of Taurus. This is not a collection of abstract feel-good theories. It is a precise, urgent blueprint that reveals how to permanently close the spiritual accounts that have been quietly draining your energy. It shows you exactly how to stop bleeding your vital force into situations, relationships, and environments that will never yield a return. It teaches you how to energetically position yourself to finally receive the massive harvest that is owed to you. You need to understand this fundamental truth. The cycle of the nodes never demands payment twice for the same spiritual debt, but it also cannot release the golden harvest until the ledger is consciously acknowledged as paid. This specific cosmic configuration does not wait, and the rare window to claim this ultimate liberation is open right now. Every single day without this path is another 24 hours of silently carrying a heavy burden that is no longer yours to bear. Every month without this profound understanding is another cycle of watching your massive, undeniable efforts result in heartbreaking delays, while those who gave half as much reap twice the rewards. Every year you spend ignoring this karmic ledger is another year of deep, quiet exhaustion, settling for the crumbs of what was actually meant to be an unprecedented era of absolute abundance. Do not let another phase slip by in quiet resignation. The digital book is in the first pinned comment. Download it right now while this word is still alive in you. Claim the complete clearing of this ancient ledger, unlocking a new era that only this specific path maps out completely. Think of that deep-rooted oak tree once more, Taurus. For so long it survived the darkest, most brutal winters, not by reaching outward, but by pulling all of its vital energy deep underground. It protected its core, while the harsh winds stripped its branches entirely bare. You have been in that freezing soil for years. You have silently held your ground, enduring the storm, asking for nothing, and simply waiting for the season to turn. But the soil is warming now. The survival phase is officially over. You do not need to brace for the bitter cold anymore. You only need to unclench your jaw, drop your heavy shoulders, and allow the roots you so fiercely protected to finally drink from the massive abundance of this new season. The struggle has ended. And as I told you earlier, Taurus, besides the digital book that is in the first pinned comment, there is that voluntary donation link open right below the book. I continue to not receive a single cent for every message that comes out of here for you. That is why this link exists, so that another Taurus tomorrow finds exactly this message that found you today. Whatever amount your heart points to, each gesture like this keeps our channel standing and makes the next message reach those who need it, exactly as it reached you today. There is an ancient name for this, and now, with the path laid out before you, the name descends. For centuries, ancient traditions have spoken of a profound energetic ledger, a crossing of the karmic threshold known as Rananubandhana. This is the ancient, unbreakable bond of debt. When you hear the word debt, your mind immediately rushes to finances, to unpaid bills, to material obligations that keep you awake at night. But this is not a material ledger. This is the profound spiritual ledger of the energy you have given away, without ever seeing a single return. It is the precise, undeniable record of every time you compromised your own peace to secure someone else's stability, every time you stayed when you should have walked away, and every drop of vital force you poured into entirely barren soil. You have been trapped in this endless cycle, believing that your constant struggles were just a permanent fixture of your existence, a cross you were uniquely chosen to bear. But I need you to listen to me very closely right now, Taurus. It is not a stroke of bad luck. It is not a cosmic punishment for something you did wrong. It is the undeniable crossing of Rananubandhana, aligning perfectly with the rare, massive turning of the lunar nodes. The nodes operate as the great cosmic accountants, and they are finally closing the books on this long, exhausting phase of your life. They never demand payment twice for the same spiritual debt, but they also cannot release your golden harvest until this ancient ledger is consciously acknowledged as paid in full. This is the exact mechanism that has been quietly operating behind every heavy delay and unexpected loss you have recently experienced. Think of the builder of the stone house. Imagine this builder carrying the heaviest, jagged stones up a steep, unforgiving hill for years. His hands are bleeding, calloused and scarred as he carefully places each stone to construct a beautiful, indestructible shelter. He builds this magnificent, towering fortress for everyone else to stay warm, protected and secure. But when the night falls and the bitter, freezing storms arrive, he is left sleeping outside in the relentless rain. He truly believed that his only purpose in this world was to be the relentless worker, the one who guarantees the safety of others while never being allowed to step inside and enjoy the warmth of the hearth he created with his own blood. He accepted the cold as his inevitable fate. He stopped looking at the door, convinced that the shelter was never meant for him, assuming his reward was simply the survival of those he loved. But then, the final stone is placed. The grueling construction is officially finished. The heavy wooden door swings open effortlessly, and the keys are being handed directly to him. The brilliant warmth of the fire spills out into the freezing night, calling him inside. He does not need to carry another stone. He does not need to endure the storm anymore. That is exactly where you are right now, Taurus. The heavy lifting is over. The brutal construction phase has ended. You built the foundation, you paid the heavy price in silence, and now the universe is fiercely handing you the keys to the massive abundance you spent your entire life constructing for everyone else. I saw you staring blankly at the wall that evening, wondering why doing the right thing felt so unbelievably heavy. I watched you swallow your own needs to make space for those who could not even hold their own weight. I witnessed every silent tear, every exhausted sigh, and every moment you chose loyalty over your own comfort. And I tell you now, your endless endurance was not ignored, but it is time to drop the burden. The ledger is officially cleared, and I am returning everything that was taken from you multiplied. There is a man who carried this exact same karmic debt for years. He was always the reliable one, always the steadfast anchor, always the one who paid the heaviest price when the people around him inevitably failed. He thought his destiny was simply to endure and survive, bracing for the next disaster. And then, during this exact same rare cosmic window, a single profound conversation shifted his entire reality. What changed in him was not his relentless work ethic or his powerful strength. It was his sudden, undeniable realization that he no longer needed to earn his right to exist. He stopped trying to constantly pay a debt that was already entirely settled. The cycle broke instantly. The ancient debt was cancelled, and the harvest he had waited decades for flooded into his life without a single ounce of resistance. You are still processing this right now, feeling that tight, breathless grip of recognition in your chest as the massive weight finally begins to slip from your tired shoulders. The deepest truth is still ahead, and it bears your name. The profound realization of this cleared ledger does not just change what you are about to receive. It fundamentally changes who you are the moment you receive it. You are no longer the one who merely survives the heavy weather. The crossing of this karmic threshold has revealed the undeniable truth of your role in this massive cycle, splitting your journey into three distinct identities that you have silently embodied for decades. Taurus carries, Taurus sustains, Taurus does not ask. First, you were the silent guardian. You are the one who stood at the door, absorbing the shock of every sudden crisis so the people behind you could sleep in absolute peace. Your deepest vulnerability was the sheer terror that if you dropped your guard for even a single second, the entire structure would collapse on the people you loved. Then you became the unpaid sower. You planted seeds in barren soil, watering them with your own vital energy, fiercely hoping that your immense loyalty would eventually force the ground to bloom. You suffered through the heartbreaking realization that you were pouring your life into a harvest someone else would consume. Finally, you evolved into the loyal anchor. You grounded everyone around you when the storms hit, holding them firm while the violent currents tore at your own roots. Your greatest silent fear was that you were only valued for your immense weight, never for your beauty. But you are no longer the guardian of a locked door, the sower of barren soil, or the anchor in a violent storm. Notice your chest right now. Feel that deep, undeniable warmth spreading through your ribs, and that sudden lightness where the anxiety used to sit. That physical release is not an illusion. It is the immediate visceral sensation of the universe, officially crowning you as the sole inheritor of everything you have built. You are stepping entirely free, claiming the absolute sovereignty that was always meant to be yours. But this identity that has just been declared over you needs to be fiercely sustained, because a Taurus who suddenly knows their immense worth without completely understanding their ancient debt will inevitably go back to carrying a burden that is no longer theirs. It was searching for answers to this exact challenge that I found this digital book called The Great Secret Behind the Karmic Debt of Taurus. It is available right now in the first pinned comment. This is the precise anchor you need to sustain the powerful new identity that the universe has just declared over your life. Do not wait for the weight to return before you learn how to protect the new era you just entered. Click the link below and secure the profound clarity required to hold your ground. The declared identity must be sustained, and this digital book is the definitive anchor that holds it firmly in place, ensuring you never slip back into the exhausting role of the unpaid worker. I promised I would come back to this, but before we move forward, you urgently need to know exactly how this heavy cycle will attempt to trick you into returning, because it absolutely will try. I told you exactly how this heavy cycle will try to trick you into returning, and now you must know how to stand your ground, Taurus. Because the moment you step into this massive clearing of your karmic ledger, the ancient debt will not simply vanish quietly. It will try to convince you that this massive abundance is just another temporary illusion, pulling you back into the familiar exhaustion you just escaped. There are 3 distinct tactics this dying cycle will use against you in the next few days, and I'm going to give you the exact 3 weapons you need to dismantle them instantly. The first tactic is the ghost of an old doubt. The universe will test you with a quiet whisper in your own voice, telling you that you simply aren't ready for this new era, that you haven't suffered quite enough to earn this level of freedom. When that heavy, familiar anxiety tries to sit on your chest tomorrow morning, you will use the first weapon. You will not argue with it in your mind. You will use a verbal declaration spoken out loud to the empty room. My debt is paid. The second tactic will arrive disguised as an emergency. An urgent, entirely false crisis from someone else will suddenly demand that you sacrifice your time and energy to fix a problem that does not belong to you. Your immediate instinct will be to drop everything and become the anchor once again. That is when you deploy the second weapon. You will use the physical action of turning your phone over, placing it face down on the table, and waiting 5 full minutes in absolute silence before responding. You will realize the crisis can survive without your blood. The third tactic is the sheer terror of success. The intense fear of losing this new blessing will make you want to grip it too tightly, trying to micromanage every single detail of your life to ensure it doesn't slip away. For some of you, this will look like suddenly obsessing over small financial details, right as a massive opportunity opens up. Here is your third weapon. When that panic hits, you will take a breath of absolute release, exhaling fully while physically opening both of your palms towards the sky. You cannot receive a massive harvest with closed fists. These 3 weapons protect you from what I was able to show you today. But the cycle has more layers than can fit in one video. When the urge to sacrifice yourself rises again, when the false guilt of saying no strikes your chest, and when the sheer fear of losing it all tries to paralyze you, you will suddenly need more than just these initial defenses to hold your ground. It was searching for answers to this exact challenge that I found this digital book called The Great Secret Behind the Karmic Debt of Taurus. This digital book is available right now in the first pinned comment. The armor provided here today is only partial, but the book delivers the complete blueprint for cancellation, ensuring this karmic loop never catches you off guard again. I am not rushing you. I am warning you. Do not wait for the next test to hit before you open the map. This specific cosmic configuration does not wait for anyone, and the rare window to claim this profound understanding is open right now. And now, I need you to stop learning for a moment and start feeling. I need you to stop looking at the horizon for just a moment and bring your focus entirely into this room. The noise around you has been dictating your pace for far too long, demanding that you rush to the next task before you have even processed the last one. But right now you are going to intentionally break that cycle. Drop your shoulders, unclench your jaw. Take one slow, deep breath. Let the immense weight you have been balancing on your spine settle for a second. Imagine standing in front of a massive ancient stone door that has been locked for decades. You feel the heavy iron key in your hand, cold and dense against your skin. You have been standing outside this door for years, enduring the harshest weather, wondering if you would ever be allowed inside. As you turn the key, there is a loud, echoing click that vibrates straight through your chest. The ancient door swings open effortlessly, revealing a vast, quiet valley bathed in warm, golden light. You take a deep breath of that clear, still air, and as you exhale, a heavy, dark cloak slips off your shoulders and falls completely to the ground. You step forward into the light, entirely free, leaving the freezing soil behind you forever. As that cloak hits the floor, you are leaving behind the unpaid invoice of your past. Release every unspoken sacrifice that you buried in silence. Release every unreciprocated effort you poured into people who only knew how to take. Release every night spent worrying about everyone else's stability while your own life hung by a thread. Release the constant, lingering sensation that you owe the world a debt you can't even name. It is no longer yours to carry. You are no longer the silent guardian, absorbing the shock of every crisis so others can sleep in peace. You are no longer the unpaid sower, planting seeds in barren ground and watching others consume your harvest. You are no longer the loyal anchor, holding fast in the violent storm while your own roots are torn apart. You are simply you, standing in the golden light of a debt fully paid, claiming the absolute sovereignty of this new era. You are still processing this right now, feeling a profound, quiet shift happening in your chest as the reality of this liberation finally sets in. Before we seal this, write down below the name of someone you are carrying through this crossing, or if it is for you, write in one sentence what you are waiting for the universe to return to you. I will read it, and you will not write this alone. Do not release this energy just yet. We are not finished. Stay with me. A seal is now placed over the walls of your home, protecting the peace you fought so brutally to build. A shield is placed over your deep, unreciprocated efforts, ensuring that no drop of your vital energy will ever be drained again. And a profound guard is placed over the massive harvest that is already making its way into your hands. I have watched you carry the weight of the world in absolute silence, Taurus, convincing yourself that if you just endured a little longer, the people you loved would finally be safe. I saw you swallow your own exhaustion, hiding your tears behind closed doors so that no one else would have to feel the crushing anxiety that kept you awake at night. You believed your pain was the price of their stability, but your silent endurance was never ignored. I saw you staring blankly at the wall that evening, wondering why doing the right thing felt so unbelievably heavy. I watched you question if this endless loop of giving and losing was a permanent curse, a life sentence of being the foundation everyone steps on, but no one ever checks on. I felt the precise moment your heart broke when the loyalty you freely gave was met with cold indifference. You thought I was punishing you by removing those people and closing those doors, but I was violently clearing the barren soil so you would stop planting your sacred seeds where nothing could ever grow. Your debt is fully paid, and I am closing the ancient accounts that kept your hands tied and your spirit exhausted. The cosmic ledger is wiped completely clean, and I am not just returning what was stolen from you. I am returning it multiplied, pressed down, and overflowing. Step out of the freezing rain and walk into the warmth of the shelter you built with your own hands. You no longer need to be the unpaid worker, the relentless guardian, or the heavy anchor. I am handing you the keys to your own life, and the era of your absolute abundance begins right now. The ghost of that old doubt that speaks with your own voice ends here. The urgent false crisis that tries to steal your energy for a problem that is not yours ends here. The sheer terror of losing this new blessing, making you grip it too tightly, ends here. Taurus is never late. Taurus is not behind anyone. Taurus arrives right on time. Don't let go yet. The universe has just told you. I saw you staring blankly at the wall that evening, wondering why doing the right thing felt so unbelievably heavy. And that is exactly why I need to remind you of something before sealing this. What was liberated here today is profoundly real, but tomorrow morning the mundane routines of your life will try to convince you that absolutely nothing has changed. That ancient heaviness will try to sit on your chest tomorrow morning, whispering that you are still the unpaid worker, trying to pull you back into the exact same cycle of exhaustion you just escaped. You cannot fight an ancient cosmic loop with just willpower. You need a permanent anchor. You need to hold fiercely onto the freedom you just claimed during this crossing, and you must do it before the cycle tries to close its grip again. It is waiting for you right now in the first pinned comment, The Great Secret Behind the Karmic Debt of Taurus. Download this digital book right now. This is the exact map that ensures the weight never returns to your shoulders, revealing the precise steps to sustain the powerful new identity that was just declared over your life. Do not let tomorrow's mundane routines steal the massive shift that was unlocked for you today. Click the link in the first pinned comment, secure your copy, and protect the sovereign era you have finally entered. Look around you, Taurus. There are thousands of Taurus listening to this right now, standing in the exact same profound silence as you, feeling the exact same heavy cloak falling to the ground. You are part of a massive, quiet wave of liberation. If this voice found you today, subscribe to the channel, not for numbers, but because the next message of this series will look exactly for the ones who cross this first threshold together. In the next video of this series, I am going to show you the exact sign that appears 3 days before your massive financial harvest arrives, and why almost every Taurus completely ignores it. Do not miss it. And still in this video, Taurus, before I seal this hour with you, I come back one last time to this request. You have walked with me this far. You have crossed every word, every revelation, every sign. And if at any moment of this message you felt the universe touch you, you know this video was not an accident. The voluntary donation link remains open in the first pinned comment, right below the digital book. Not as a charge, not as an exchange, but as a giving back from the one who received to the source this message came from. Any amount your heart points to, and the universe sees every gesture the universe sees, and the universe multiplies over your home, over your days, over what you don't even know is about to arrive. This was my last request. I'll be waiting for you there. Thank you so much. And when the heavy weight of the past tries to return, remember that the answer has a name, the great secret of the karmic debt, and it is already within your reach. The deep-rooted oak tree has finally survived the darkest winter. The freezing soil has thawed, the harsh winds have died down, and you are now bursting into full, undeniable bloom in the warm, golden light of your massive harvest. Now, you can let go. This message is complete. What was seen was seen. What was settled was settled. Walk light, Taurus.